Am I wrong for yelling at my pregnant sister-in-law and telling my husband to choose between me or her? So I, 29 female, have been married to my husband for 8 years. About 2 months ago, I had my third miscarriage, 31 weeks. I won't be talking about it because it makes me feel so depressed, but you'll need to remember this. About 4 months ago, my sister-in-law, 20, came crying at our doorstep telling us she's pregnant and her boyfriend didn't want anything to do with the pregnancy and had nowhere to go. My husband and I openly took her in, welcomed her into our home with open arms. For the first few weeks, it was really hard for her. Understandably. I sat with her for hours, holding her when she cried, binging our favorite TV shows, eating so much ice cream we quite literally fell into a coma. It was really bonding for us, so I thought. Here's where it starts going downhill. I take pride in my neat, clean home. My sister-in-law, on the other hand, did not. She would leave her clothes all around the house, leave her dirty dishes wherever, even went as far as leaving her sex toys on our living room table. I tried to talk to her directly before I talked to my husband. She immediately started crying and told me she would try to be cleaner. I hugged her, told her it was okay, but this is a clear boundary for me. She told me it won't happen again. But it only got worse. She told me that I was expected to do her laundry, dishes, and clean her room daily because she's the pregnant one. Well, I do understand how hard it is being pregnant. I just couldn't allow feeling like a maid in my own home. Disclaimer, I bought this house, not my husband. It was all me. Not to mention my recent loss of my child. So I told my husband, but what he told me shocked me. His exact words were, "Honey, she's going through a lot right now. We really should be helping her out. Plus, it might make you feel better to take care of someone who's pregnant." I was pissed to say the least. Make me feel better? She's going through a lot. We need to help her. Letting her stay with us wasn't enough. While I don't want to invalidate her pain, my husband and I were also going through our own problems. Anyways, we moved on. I did my best to maintain work and the household chores. My husband works from 7 to 7, so he isn't around much to help. I work full-time from home, so it's been super stressful. When I ever try to ask for help from my sister-in-law, she always makes an excuse, even if she's just watching TV. The one thing that pushed me over the edge, I went out to buy one food that I have actually enjoyed eating after my miscarriage. I wrote my name on it and directly asked my sister-in-law to not eat it. Well, I went to go to my fridge to get it, and you'll never guess, she freaking ate it. Now you may think it's just food. I buy all of the groceries, basically pay all of the bills. I don't mind people having some of my food, but the one thing I ask to not be touched gets touched. I told my husband, and of course, he rubbed it into my face that she's pregnant. I needed to be less selfish, and life is all about sacrifices. I was so upset, I told him I felt like him and her were the horrible roommates people talk about on Reddit. He didn't take that well. Which leads us to my title. My sister-in-law planned a random baby shower party thing at my house. I personally didn't know if I could even be home when this was happening. I felt so hurt that she wouldn't talk to me knowing everything that has happened and that she would just invite random strangers into another person's home before asking. My husband urged me to go, told him it would permanently affect mine and her relationship, so I told him I'd go. About halfway through the party, my husband and sister-in-law announced that they wanted to show the nursery to everyone. I was confused. Nursery? She was staying that long? What room did she turn into a nursery? They told everyone to head upstairs, and that's when it hit me. They were talking about my nursery for my baby I had just lost. A wave of emotions hit me when I saw everyone in my baby's nursery telling her what a good job they did setting it up. My setup for my baby that my body failed to give me. I just lost it. I started sobbing, then the sadness turned into pure rage. I started yelling at my sister-in-law, telling her she's the foulest human for putting me through everything she has for the last few months, making me feel like I was a maid or an object for her convenience. Through choked up tears, I turned to my husband, whose jaw was on the floor. I turned my head to see his entire family just staring at me. I lost it again. Yelling, I looked at my sister-in-law, telling her, how dare she use my nursery for my baby? How dare she think she has the right? What she told me made me fall to my knees sobbing. It's not my fault you couldn't produce a child. Why let this go to waste? You're so selfish. My husband tried to pick me up off the floor, but I yelled again, standing to my knees, which were now shaking. I told him, pick. A dumbfounded look on his face. I yelled again, pick me or her. Couldn't even muster up anything to say. I just looked at him, pure betrayal. I pushed past the crowd of family and ran straight up here to type this out. Even if no one sees this, at least it's helped me to let these emotions out. Now's the point where I ask, am I the asshole? Okay guys, she does have an update for us. After posting my story on Reddit, I sat on my bed, wiping my tears and telling myself I will not take this disrespect. I walked downstairs, shutting my nursery door on the way. I was greeted with everyone comforting my sister-in-law. I kindly asked everyone besides my sister-in-law and husband to respectfully get the out of my house. After all the dirty looks and shaming, it was just my husband, sister-in-law, and myself. They sat themselves on the couch, not saying anything. I sat with them. The silence felt like forever. None of us had anything to say. I knew I'd had to start the conversation. I looked at my husband and said, "Did you decide?" He looked at me just staring. I asked again in a firm tone this time. He ended up mumbling some sort of insult, and I couldn't really make out what he said. Something with bitchy. I stood up and told them both to get out. Then they wanted to talk, telling me this is all a misunderstanding, their story, blah blah blah. I grabbed a backpack from my shoe closet and told them to pack their shit. My sister-in-law told me I couldn't just make her leave, and I was a horrible person. I laughed in her face and told her this is my house. I can do whatever I wanted. My husband stood next to me and told her it was only for a little while. I turned to him and said, "Oh, you too, get out." He got all mad at me and told me we were a married couple and that this isn't how marriage works. I told him, no, it is not. Marriage is where two people support each other and not treat their wife like shit. They both ended up leaving after many insults towards me. Oh, but wait, it's not over. This morning, as I was getting ready for a Zoom meeting with a few other coworkers when my husband showed up. I let him in, telling him to get whatever he needed and to go because I had to work. He started apologizing and telling me he wants to make it right. I told him I just needed time away from him. Then he threw in my face, "Well, it's not my fault you lost our child. Maybe this would have never happened. My sister was right. You are selfish." I have never ever made my husband feel like he cannot grieve with me over this. Never made him feel less than because of his pain. I turned around and slapped him in the face. I never condone violence, and I'm very upset that I would ever do that to another human, but I just couldn't deal with this. I took another step back and threw all of my makeup on the floor, which I get, but then he started breaking all of my decor in my bathroom. I yelled at him to stop and that I was sorry, but he just kept going, even going as far as punching a hole in my bathroom wall. It was like I was seeing all of his bottled up emotions from our child's death come out, but he went too far when he tried to grab me, yelling in my face. I kicked him off and told him to get the out. He walked out of the bathroom and I watched him break a few more items as he left. The second he left, I had a panic attack, looking at the mess he made to even just seeing how much he hid his pain. I called his mother and told her everything that has been happening. I don't talk to my family much due to some past trauma with them. She told me she was on her way. The second she got here, I just broke down and she held me. Then she stood up and started taking pictures of everything he broke. I asked her what she was doing and she turned to me and said, "We're suing this piece of shit." I honestly didn't even argue. I was so hurt by everything my husband did to me. My mom packed up my computer and I grabbed a few outfits. My mom and I drove to a hotel and she insisted on staying with me. While I finished up work, my mom called the locksmith and my attorney. I will be divorcing him as well. So there it is. Here's the update everyone's been waiting for. I feel guilty for just giving up on my husband and 8 years of our marriage, but it's time for a divorce. I can't live like this and neither can my husband. I wish I could say we moved on, forgave each other, and I got to see my sister-in-law have her baby, but that's not reality.
Basically, I got a brain tumor from the birth control I was on. Ugh. I was supposed to get this brain scan last week, but they messed up my scheduling. Now it's today. The birth control I was on was Nexplanon. Symptoms I was having, just look up prolactinoma, and I was pretty much having all of them. Some included like 50 plus days in between my time of the month. Being hot 24/7, like literally waking up sweating every single morning, no matter how cold it was. Literally cannot say some of them on TikTok, so just go look it up. No matter how many times I flip and say this, I have keyboard warriors in my comment section being like, "Don't listen to people on TikTok, go see a doctor." Like, the whole reason I made that video in the first place is because if a girl had made a video like that about Nexplanon, I would have never got it. Like I've said over and over again, everyone is different. A lot of you aren't going to get brain tumors from your birth control, but putting anything forward in your body that messes with your hormones can lead to side effects. That's commonly known. Ow, just fucking come out. I'm getting so fed up with this. Like, please just come out. Tests my uncle did on me to find out that I had it. Testing my prolactin levels. Don't self-diagnose, but you can tell when something's wrong with your body. So if you feel that way, ask them to test your prolactin levels if you're having any of those symptoms. Yeah. Anyway, I was informed yesterday that I'm going to get ink put into my veins via IV for this brain scan, so that's really sexy. I can't wait for that. I can't wait to just like get it over with and like come up with a consensus. Oh my god, please just come out. I literally don't even want to finish talking until this gets out of my nose. Finally, got it out. Ow. Here's all my jewelry. Anyway, it's 7:49 and my appointment, I have to be there at 10:30. I'm a freaking ADHD freak. So yes, I have to be fully prepared and ready by like 8 o'clock. If I have an appointment for something, that is what I'm focused on all day. I have a terrible fear of wasting other people's time. Basically, this is gonna show my doctor how big it is, if I need like surgery to get it removed, or if I could just take medicine or whatever, because this needs to get fixed. And I have been going to the gym for like over 3 months straight now. This problem causes me to gain a lot of extra weight weight, and that has been not making my mental health very good as well. Not even like complaining and being like, oh my god, I'm fat, because I'm not. I'm like in good shape. But for the amount of work I'm putting in and the amount that I'm like eating healthy and like really going ham at this, it does suck to not see like the payouts that you should be receiving, if you know what I mean. I also have jury duty tomorrow, so that's really cute. This has been a really fun week, if you can't tell. Like, I'm so excited about this. I'm also most likely going to be signing with a management very, very soon. So that's been a whole like back and forth with lawyers, legal stuff, having people read contracts. That's been low-key stressing me out as well. Whenever things get legal, I can't do it, man. Like, my dad's a felon, catch me a break. By the way, I got a little taste accidentally of this Laneige stuff. Tastes kind of good. Like, I could eat this up, I'm not gonna lie. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, baby. Not gonna tell you guys which management I'm talking to because I think that's bad luck. But just when you see a business email in my bio change, you'll know who it is, or, you know, whatever. Just so ready for this whole prolactinoma birth control bullshit be over already and be solved and fixed, because these symptoms that I've been living with ever since I got off this birth control have really been taking a toll on me and my energy. I can't wait to see how different I feel, and like all of this just makes me sick to my stomach, and I can't believe any of this happened. And then that's my stupidity. I was a dumb 18-year-old. Why was I able to put that in my body as a dumb 18-year-old? Just anyway, wish me luck. Low-key kind of freaking out, but it's fine. When I get home, I'm gonna scrub the residue of my last self-tan off and self-tan again because I want to be tan for jury duty. An update about the tumor that I got from birth control. I had my brain scan done yesterday. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced. Never want to do that again, please. Found the tumor, and they also found bleeding in my brain. Is terrifying. So I have to connect with an endocrinologist, and my options now are going to either fall between surgery or getting it treated, like with medication, yada yada yada. Yesterday was a really hard day, to say the absolute least. There was a lot of crying between everyone, just because when you hear about bleeding in someone's brain, it usually leads to I'm just trying to be thankful and grateful that it was found. And a lot of people are asking me if I'm gonna sue other doctors who tried to like gaslight me and tell me I was okay, refuse to test certain hormones and tell me that nothing was wrong with me. And like, I've thought about that, I'm not gonna lie, because I am angry. I am very mad. I could have easily not been here for 5 more years if this had lingered. But I think I want to take my time and energy and put it into just telling my story, not to sound all sappy and but just basically let other girls know what happened to me so that they can at least go into it with a different peace of mind. Because had a girl made a video like this saying Nexaplanon gave them a brain tumor, I would have been a little hesitant to get it, is all I'm saying. And so many people that were on Nexaplanon are in my DMs telling me that they have the same thing, and that's just like so scary. Like, what? Why is it not listed as an official side effect? Like, why are they trying to sell us this crap so bad? I'm obviously like concerned and scared above all else, but like at the same time, I'm fuming. Like, I'm so mad. Because now with, like, not only the side effects that I've been dealing with for the past, like, 5 years since I got this in, like, 2019, but the things that I have to go through while fixing what it did are even worse. Like, that MRI was traumatizing. Anyone who's got an MRI, you are a soldier. Just want to say, you have my respect and credit. That was some Black Mirror type ish. I will just say that is some Black Mirror level stuff. I told the man when he took me out, this is some Black Mirror stuff. I'm trying not to cuss. I get harassed for cussing too much, so I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying to be better. And I agree with you guys. It is really bad how much I cuss. Yeah, anyway. Also, who was gonna tell me that that was gonna be 30 minutes long? 2 15-minute sessions. Who was gonna tell me that it wasn't like a little extra where they just go, boop, oh, you're done. Go home, honey, sweetheart. No. 30 minutes in the can. They gave me like a panic ball and everything, and I started having a panic attack in there, and I was like, get me out of here. I was getting injected with all sorts of stuff. It was a time to be alive, that's for sure, and it's truly an experience that I'll never forget. Like I was saying before, as much as I just want to sue the living shoot out of that doctor, I'm more focused on like what happens to the girls that don't have immediate doctors in their family. If I had not had my uncle, I would still just be here with like a bleeding brain and not know. That's a terrifying thought. That really is. That is disgusting. This has just been like not a good week. Lots of emotions, lots of stuff to deal with. I've been back and forth with like lawyers about like contracts, but I do have a business email in my bio now. It has changed, so you guys know what that means. So that's good, and I'm really excited about that, but like I can't even like celebrate it because like my brain is bleeding. I just want to say I really love you, Hobknockers, and thank you for just making this my job. Like, out of a lot of influencers I know, I think I do a really, really good job of thanking you guys and like reminding you that I have everything I have because of you. But I feel like I just can never thank you enough. Like, everything is getting so real, so fast. I'm gonna be out of Maryland like very, very soon, and it's just like, what? I'm trying to like just think on the positive. Think about the positives, Lauren. Doesn't matter that there's a little trickle in your brain right now. It's fine. Also getting a million questions. I have answered like every single one of your questions throughout this series, so all of these videos are gonna be under the same playlist if you want to know what my symptoms were. But what I got diagnosed with was prolactinoma, and I don't know the specific medical term for the bleeding, but yeah, ever since I got the MRI, I have been having like migraines, and I woke up today like feeling sick, and I know they injected that contrast stuff in me, so who knows? I'm bionic right now, as far as we know. I'm not even a real person, so just a little bloody sleigh. You know what's crazy? Because when I'm having a nosebleed, when I'm having a nosebleed on my period, I'm bleeding out of 3 different places. What? Bleeding out of here, and there. They call me the triple threat! Oh gosh, Anyway, all I can say is I'm so thankful to have this and have you to go through this with me. You guys have been sending me the sweetest DMs ever. Had it not been for all of you, I would have dealt with this a lot differently. I would definitely be like on my bed, picking my booty, crying all day. But like, I just have so much love and support from you guys. I just freaking love you. You know I love you. I don't even gotta tell you. I am gonna keep making like videos on this and giving you guys updates because I know it's helping a lot of you. But I also do really miss making content. So cleaning room videos soon, so get ready with me, Rant, soon. Like, I have so many vlogs, shopping hauls, like filmed, that I just haven't had the time to edit because you know it's crazy over here right now. It's like, what is happening? But I love you, Hobknockers. I really do. You know, like, so much about my life. I feel like I get on here and tell you things before I tell a lot of my in real life friends, and that is the best feeling in the world. It's just
one time I tried to flirt with this insanely hot waiter and he shut me down immediately with his face. Not like in a mean way or anything. He didn't glare at me, but he looked at me in a way that made me feel like I was an elementary school student who had just been reprimanded by her favorite teacher. And I felt really bad because I thought, you know what, even though I didn't say anything inappropriate, I probably shouldn't have been flirting with him at his place of employment. That's really rude. That's kind of annoying. And I would have just forgotten about it, except the next night I was hanging out with my friend Anna. And Anna is the most beautiful person in the world, inside and out. And lots of people agree with me. Anytime we were together, she would get approached repeatedly and asked out on dates. And she would always say, T, no, thank you. And I didn't want to go out with these doofuses either, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit jealous at times because I wasn't used to being so invisible. And what was worse than occasionally feeling jealous was when she would notice that I occasionally felt jealous. Like one night, she got asked out 5 times in a row. And after the 5th time, she turned and she saw the look on my face and she just went, you are so beautiful. Just absolutely stunning. I really hope you know that. And I was like, no, don't say that. That makes this so much worse. But she is genuinely one of the best friends anybody could ever have. A life-changing friend, if you were lucky enough to encounter her. So we're hanging out one night, and who should walk in but hot waiter boy. And she said, oh, now he's cute. And I said, I know, right? I saw him at Anthony's last night because he's a waiter there. And I tried to flirt with him, but he totally shut me down, and I feel really bad about it. And she was like, oh, I don't feel bad about it. He's a waiter. He's probably used to it. And I would have done the exact same thing. And that made me feel a little bit better. And then he saw Anna and started to approach us. And I was like, obviously. And as he was walking up to us, he had a confident walk and a shy smile, and Anna spoke first, and she said, I don't think you've ever been formally introduced to my fiance. This is Ethan. And I immediately left to go buy a shovel because I needed to dig myself a 6-foot hole to lie down in.
Tell you guys the story of how I found out my ex-boyfriend was cheating on me. Okay, so this was back in high school. I was like 17, and it was my first ever like real relationship. And when I tell you guys, I was like so in love with this man. Like, I was so in love with this man. I had wanted to date him like the last 2 years of high school, and when we finally got together, it was like all the fucking stars aligned. So he had an ex-girlfriend, we'll call her Anna. Him and Anna still talked, like, when we got together, and it made me feel some type of way. And one night when I went over to his house, I stayed like 30 minutes later than I normally do. And I noticed that she was calling him, and I was like, excuse me, what is this? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, we're just friends. So the next day at school, I get my best friend and I'm like, hey, we need to figure out how the fuck we're gonna go through this guy's phone, because I have a feeling he's talking to his ex-girlfriend still. Which, like, obviously they were talking because she was calling his phone, but I was just suspicious it was more than that. So I come up with this whole elaborate lie that, like, my phone wasn't connecting to the internet, and I was like, oh, babe, like, I need to borrow your phone during first period because we have to do something for class. So he gave me his phone because he was fucking stupid. So, like, 15 minutes into class being started, me and my friend had planned to meet in the bathroom, so I took his phone, and we went into the bathroom, and I was like, I need you to look at this because I don't think I physically can look through this. And that way, if he asks me, did you look through this? I can say, no, I didn't, because I didn't. You did. We go through the phone, and their text messages were, like, consistent. They would talk all day, but the part that made me, like, the most upset was she would text him at night and be like, oh, is she there? Oh, like, can I call now? Oh, when is she leaving? And he would be like, oh yeah, she's leaving in like 30 minutes. You can call then. So I confronted him on it because there was no way I wasn't going to say anything. And he was like, okay, babe, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll stop talking to her. And I thought it was going to end there. But that was just the beginning. Senior year ends, and, like, we were just so crazy. We were, like, teenagers in love. He, like, asked me to marry him. I was like, yes, like, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you. Like, I love you so much. Boy, was I fucking wrong. At this point, we had been dating for, like, 6 months, and it was December, and he was taking me to Olive Garden. I'll never forget. And we pulled into the Olive Garden parking lot, and I dropped my phone. Like, I was showing him something in the passenger seat, and I dropped it, and it slid underneath the driver's seat. So I was like, oh, like, let me grab it. And he was like, no, like, don't grab your phone. I'll grab your phone, which I thought was weird. I'm like, no, I can grab my own phone. I'm reaching underneath his seat to grab my phone, and I feel this little package. It's like a little square, like, envelope-y type of package, and I pull it out, and it's a fucking condom. And this confused me because, like, I was on birth control, so we definitely, like, were not using condoms. So why the fuck do you have a condom in your car? At this point, I see red, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he starts, like, stuttering for an answer, and I'm like, why do you have a condom underneath your seat? And he's like, oh, babe, like, those were from before, like, when we used to use them. And I'm like, so he was a car guy. Like, this guy would, like, make sure his car was in pristine condition. I'm like, oh, so you just missed a single condom underneath your seat? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, no. Like, remember, we used to keep them in a paper bag, like, in the part of the door where you, like, throw, like, just, like, the little, like, part in the door. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I was like, okay, so you're telling me that this condom grew legs and jumped out of the bag that it used to be in 6 months ago, and it crawled underneath your seat, and he deadass goes, yes, it must have grown legs. And I was like, you are one fucking stupid motherfucker. But he convinced me that, like, it was just an old condom, and I was just crazy. That was the whole narrative the entire time we're together. I was just crazy. We get over that, we move on, and we end up having, like, some other issues, which that is a story for a whole ass other time. We break up, and then we decide, let's get back together. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking that was the issue. We get back together, we're like, let's work this out. Like, I love you, I want to be with you. And one day he comes over, like, to my house, and then I take him home and I drop him off because, of course, he didn't have a car. And then I get back to my house and I see his phone. He left his phone on the charger in my room. And I was like, oh, like, let me go take his phone back to him. So I get in the car and I start driving his phone, like, back to him. I'm, like, on the freeway. And once I get off the freeway, the phone is, like, staring at me. It's, like, calling my name. It's like, Jordan, you know something's going on in your heart, in your gut. Look through me. So before I get to his house, I pull over and I'm like, okay, let me look through his messages just in case, because I just had inklings that he was talking to other girls. Like, he was not acting the same. He wasn't treating me the same. And I opened up his text messages and I looked through, and his texts were, like, cleaned out. There was, like, just me and, like, his friend and, like, his mom or something like that. So that was weird. So I said, okay, let me check Snapchat. So I open up Snapchat and I'm wholeheartedly expecting to see Anna's name in there. But no, I see the name of another girl that I've literally never ever heard of in my whole life. It said, like, we'll call her Jenny. It had said that, like, he had an unopened message from her. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna look at these. Like, I don't give a fuck. I want to know who this Jenny girl is. I need to stop putting on my mascara because I can feel my heart starting to pound because I'm getting so mad all over again. I open up those messages to see the most explicit text about how he couldn't wait. What did he say? I can't wait to be inside you again. She was like, I miss the way you feel. Shit like that. I thought I was gonna throw the fuck up. I was literally like, my heart was like in my stomach. Like, I don't know if you've ever been cheated on. I feel like you know the feeling I'm talking about. I'm getting mad just even thinking about it. I was so fucking mad. Oh, like a switch flips in my brain and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And I drive to his house and I knock on the door and I'm like, hey babe, you forgot your phone at my house. And like, oh, let's go talk. So we sit in the car and before I hand him his phone, I'm like, can I ask you something? Sweet, darling boyfriend of mine. And he's like, yeah, babe, what is it? And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like you're acting different. I feel like maybe you are not, like, into me the same. Like, maybe I don't do it for you anymore. Like, honestly, that conversation was so embarrassing. I feel like there's someone else. And he's like, babe, no. And I was like, I'll give you this one chance to, like, come clean to me if there is anybody else. But you only get this one chance. And he's like, babe, no. Like, no, I'm not cheating on you. Like, of course, why would you think that? And I said, oh, because pulled up his phone, unlocked it. It was pulled up on their messages. I said, oh, because of this. Oh, I can't wait to be inside you again. That kind of makes me feel like you're talking to other bitches. I flip my shit. He's like, babe, no, babe, what? Babe. He says, I don't remember that. That was not me. I did not send that text. I'm like, you didn't type out, my girlfriend leaves in 10 minutes, come over. Like, you didn't type that. He's like, I must have blacked out. I don't remember that. I make him read me these messages. I'm like, can you tell me what this says right here? What did you say? Oh, okay. Who typed that? Who sent that? And he's like, babe, no, like, I swear, babe. And then he starts crying. He's like, I'm just going through a lot right now. Like, babe, I swear I'm not cheating on you. But yeah, so that's the story of just one of the times I found out I was getting cheated on. I don't know why my boyfriends can't stop texting their ex-girlfriends when we're together. But yeah, that's my life.
So I got a comment a couple weeks ago saying you're just showing off in one of my vlogs. It stuck with me for a while because I never want to come across that I'm showing off. So I thought today I'd tell you the purpose behind why I started this account and why I post what I do. Let's go! So I do a lot of different things, right? I started my business when I was 15. I do tap dancing, I do singing, I've performed in musicals. I also work in social media. I guess you could say I'm a bit of a go-getter, but I personally think it all comes down to self-belief. But there have been points in my life where I didn't think I could do things, I didn't believe in myself. And there are a few key people in my life that have been role models and encouraged me that I can do things and have just been really inspiring. People have mainly been family and a few teachers that I had growing up that really inspired me and pushed me to be where I am today. This is gonna sound super cheesy, but I feel like I'm at a point now that I feel like anything is possible. Like anything that I put my mind to, I feel like I can achieve. The other experience I've had in life recently is finishing year 12 and figuring out what the heck I want to do with my life and going to uni, picking a uni course, all of that stuff, taking a gap year. I feel like that's a very confusing time for everyone, including me. I was so confused in that time. But somehow since finishing school and being super confused, I was able to create my dream life and pick a career path and job that I actually like. I guess in saying all of that, the purpose behind my account is to show what's possible to have in your life and to show that it's possible to live your dream life. And that might look different for everyone, but I'm just showing you through my own personal experiences. I try and show it's possible to have hobbies, to also have a work life, to be able to study and learn new things and how exciting that is. To kind of have a balance of things in your life. Just love inspiring people and just watching people achieve their dream life, their goals and everything. Like if you tell me you want to achieve something in life and I'm like watching you achieve it, I'm like, go girl, like you've got this. Like I just believe everyone has so much potential in their life and I'm just so passionate about, I just love people like achieving their goals and their dreams and just like living their best life. I also like to show that but just because you're an adult doesn't mean you can't have fun. Like, I'll post dance videos, I'll post me going out with my friends, like, it's so fun. Like, life is literally what you make it. So